It's been so long since you smiled. Tell me where you left an empty child. Oh, let's have a feast on those who least expected this. The time is now, I swear we won't regret it. Won't regret it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dawn. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. Addicted, addicted to this. No, we won't tell a single soul. No. Of every passing night we've sold. Oh, this is our time, our place, a new day is in bloom. Come and see what it's like to just accept it. Yeah, accept it. Yeah, we sleep here under stars in the shelter of the dawn. Addicted, addicted. Yeah, when you find out who you are, I'll be watching from afar. We're addicted, addicted to this. Take me to the light. I got tunnel vision signs. I got higher than I like. Too pretentious to rectify. Looking back, I know you tried. No, but does it still possess your life? Let's go out and get electric one more time. Everything in the world could be as we left it.
Well, welcome everyone to the Talladega Superspeedway once again for, I believe, the third time in total for this season. We are back here once again for race number 5, and what a race it is going to be. This is, of course, as per usual, the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series with the Talladega Superspeedway 199. Not 200, 199. And of course, that that 0.16 difference in a what should be a 2.5 mile racetrack is really what is the difference maker for these numbers. So for this week, it's the Talladega 199. Qualifying is currently underway as we await the completion of qualifying. Right now it has actually just begun, so we're going to be here for roughly about 4 minutes. For the next 4 minutes, going to be waiting for times to come through. But in the meantime, while we wait for qualifying to wrap up and within the next 4 minutes, we'll take a look at our point standings coming into tonight's event. So after last week's events at the 2008 Daytona International Speedway, the point standings will now start to look as follows here at Talladega. Coming into tonight, it is Benjamin Nelson leading the field in the point standings just by about 23 points over Lucas Cram. The 33 and 44, both Nelson and Cram, have not really moved anywhere as of, well, in between last week's events and, well, now. So those are your point standings, at least for your top two. Alex Fox has moved up one position into position number 3. Alan Ballacino has moved up to 4th place in the point standings. Clint Spillman, well, sitting halfway roughly in the point standings, sitting at position number 5. Hasn't gained anything, hasn't lost anything as of yet. So far, so good. Keep an eye on him throughout tonight's event, as Robert Rader and Nick Olson also have advanced 1 and 2 positions respectively. They are both technically tied for the 6th place position, but they are both 6th and 7th overall. Alex Bell is 8th in the point standings after getting shuffled out 5 positions. He was P3 the last time, when we were heading into Daytona, and after Daytona, well, he has fallen back to position 8, to the bottom half of the point standings. Could be in a little bit of a danger zone heading into tonight. Keep an eye on him, as well as the 38 of Sean Howell and the 45 of Colby Wells. And, well, keeping an eye on 8th, 9th, and 10th respectively, we head to the cutoff area of your point standings heading into tonight, and boy oh boy are they close. From the cutoff, top 10 advance into the playoffs. Well, Robbie Lyons is 4 points out of at least getting into the top 10, and he'll just have to finish ahead of Colby Wells. Brendan Hoff is going to have to finish ahead of both Robbie Lyons and Colby Wells, but I mean, just look at this. We see 11th through 13th. They are all within, by the looks of it, doing math off the top of my head here, about 4-point difference, about 4 to 5 points between at least 11th and 13th. And then, just a few more, almost a 10-point difference between themselves and the top 10 in the point standings. So again, that would be something to look out for heading into tonight. Keep an eye on the 15, the 38, the 45, the 9, the 97, and the 07 coming into tonight's events here at Talladega. The qualifying session has wrapped up, so we're going to go ahead and show you tonight's starting grid here for Talladega Superspeedway. We do have about 40 seconds remaining, so we're going to hold off just in case, at least for now. Another 35 seconds before qualifying will wrap up. But so far, you see Lucas Cram and Alex Fox positions 1 and 2. If we actually take a look here, your entire top 10, well, top 5, I should say, because this will switch over. But relatively the entire top 12, top 11, they're all within a tenth of each other, and that is just with the solo runs as well. Only 15 drivers have qualified. There is at least 8 more seconds for anyone else to finish up their time, but that looks to not be the case. Only about half the field has qualified here at Talladega. Qualifying has come to a close, and we'll go for your starting grid on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. It is Lucas Cram that will bring the field to the green flag once again here by 0.06 of a second over Alex Fox, who starts in the second place position to his outside. Third place is going to be Brendan Hoff. Dustin Schwingle will start off in the 7th place, or the 9th, goodness gracious, actually, the 4th place position, half looking at the car numbers here. So the number 9 will start in P3, the number 7 will start P4. Benjamin Nelson in the 33 will round out position number 5, and the top 5 moving on to the car being driven by Gavin Jones in the number 5 machine. He'll start position number 6. Robert Rader in the number 2 will start position 7. The 50 of Derek Newsom will start off in position number 8. Sean Howell in the 38 will start off in the 9th place position, and Nick Olson in the 24 will roll off in P10. Clint Spillman in the 88 starts 11th. The 43 of Kyle Dager will start off in position number 12. Michael Klein in the 1 machine will start 13th. 14th place is the 95 of Christopher Lewis, and the last driver to set a qualifying lap time is the 11 of Brett Murphy. Alex Bell will start off in the 16th place position in the car number 15. Alan Bellacino in the 02 will start 17th. 18th place is the number 25 of Kyle Manger. The 41 of Lucas Strayer will start P19. Robbie Lyons rounds out the top 20 in the number 97. Colby Wells starts off in his number 45 machine in 21st. 22nd is the 69 of Tim Branyan. Jonathan Kuvas starts off in 23rd in his number 03. Michael Elliott returns to Talladega once again, starting off in position number 4 in his number 29. Keep an eye on that number 29 as well throughout this race, because last time he was out here, randomly showed up to start the season, didn't show up last week, and most likely because it was the 08 version of Daytona. But regardless, last time he was out here at Talladega, he won. So we'll see if he can have a repeat win here at Talladega. 25th is going to be occupied by the number 46 of Dane Cruz, as Joey Pecuella in the number 22 rolls off in the 26th position, with Raymond Lease in the number 12, rounding out your 27 car field here for this afternoon. Well, the field is rolling now here at Talladega. They're making their way off turn number 2 very slowly onto the back straightaway. Taking a look top down from above here at Talladega. As we see various drivers, I see over in the over on the number 29, that's actually a Harvick-esque paint scheme back when Harvick used to run that number 29. That's Michael Elliott, and I believe he ran that last time out as well. So hopefully getting a little bit of good luck from that paint scheme by the looks of it. As we await the green flag here at Talladega, going to be double checking everything this time. Robert Rader is being given a end of the line penalty for causing 2 crashes last week. So the number 2 of Rader will instead of starting from 7th, he'll be starting from the back of the field. This time by the pace car pulls off into pit road for the first time this afternoon, but will it be for the last time? That's up for the drivers to find out. The stage ends at lap number 35. If we get a caution between 32 and 35, then the stage will automatically be ended. I believe at the last scored, as the drivers were scored last time at the line. Flag is in the hand of the starter once again, and it is now being waved. Green flag here at Talladega as we're underway. Well, that was the first lap here at Talladega, and, well, probably to nobody's surprise, the grid drivers P1 and P2 controlling both the inside and the outside lane as Cram moves down to the inside, and that will leave the outside lane open for the 27 of Alex Fox. Just as a side note, the 03 of Jonathan Cuvas and the 69 of Tim Brancan have not started this event, nor have they attempted to start the event, nor did they grid, so looks like it's going to be a 25-car field semi-officially here for this afternoon's race. In the meantime, the 9 of Brendan Hoff trading the lead with the 44 of Lucas Cram as we make our way off turn number 2 once again. Down the back straightaway we go. Nobody looking to make a third line already. And all these drivers are within, at least from the lead all the way back to the 41 here of Lucas Strayer. All these drivers are within 2 seconds of each other or 2 seconds of each other in total. Here comes Benjamin Nelson, looks to go up top, decides against it, tries again, decides against it. Very indecisive is the 33 to try and get a run on the outside. Wasn't entirely sure if he should have made that move or not, so he decides to stay on that inside lane. Got help in the form of the 5 of Gavin Jones, the 24 of Nick Olson, who's in a different paint scheme this week as well. A very incredibly noticeable lime green paint scheme, highlighter green as a little bit of an alternative color. Everyone else just hanging out, relaxing, trying to figure out what line will work best for them. Looking back, trying to find the number 29. There he is, Michael Elliott, who won last time out here at Talladega. Started 24th, only 4 positions up, so we'll see how he fares a little bit later on, as the 27 of Alex Fox was peeking out to the outside lane, most likely, of course, just to cool his engine. And, well, speaking of cooling engines, unfortunately, Lucas Graham had blown his engine twice, I believe 2 weeks in a row earlier on this season. He didn't really suffer much in the points after that, which is a key thing to know. And, well, it looks like he removed the might blow engine tag from the back of his spoiler for this week. So it looks to be he's a little bit more confident at Talladega than he is at Daytona when it comes to engine control. Stage will end in 30 laps time, now 29 and a half laps as we go down the back straightaway. Someone's off on the inside in the background. That looks to be the 45 of Colby Wells, and unfortunately he's having a couple connection issues. Yep, there he goes, and pops right back into existence. He is incredibly slow though, and I'm pretty sure he did not want to slow up that much, but hopefully everything will sort itself out for the number 45 a little bit later on. Brendan Hoff leading the field on the inside lane. Gavin Jones directly behind him. Gavin Jones blows his engine. Then the 24's around on the apron. And there's a second crash off turn number 4. And that is the first caution of the day. Very much earlier on than we were anticipating. The 25 of Kyle Manger and the 25 is around as well, unfortunately, after that. And Gavin Jones will have to take a tow or maybe get a push from somebody, but there's no one else behind him, so we'll see what happens to the 5 in the meantime. A caution incredibly early on. No one, I'm pretty sure, was expecting that. We'll get a replay here as soon as we can on exactly what had happened here. We're going to be riding on board. Gavin Jones taking a tow back to his pit box. These drivers do have at least one faster pair available to them if need be, so we're going to be riding on board with the number 24 machine. Oh, he knew as well. It was just too late for the number 5. And there's Colin Manger spinning out just ahead. We're going to take another look and see what happened there as well. But one more ride in car for the 5 of Gavin Jones, just moments before he was about to blow up. And I can hear him lift off as well, and it was just too late, unfortunately. And he did get hit again, so that looks to be the reason. Yeah, he got hit by 25. We'll see what happened to Kyle Manger as well. Or Kyle Manger. Unfortunately, it caught up in almost an entirely separate accident just as a reaction to what was happening in front of them. Let's see if we can find the correct angle here as the field has crossed the line. They've actually went to pit road incredibly early on as well, only 9 laps in, trying to extend their run. Here's a replay on board the 25. Collects the 46 of Cruz as well. One more look on board, at least the back bumper of Dane Cruz in the 46. Great save by the 46 for sure after that. Well, what a incredibly unexpected caution that we had. The first caution of the day. And at this time, we're going to be at least switching over to our B-roll temporarily. But in the meantime, well, so far, again, the first caution of the day happening a lot sooner than we had anticipated. And I'm pretty sure it was a shock to everybody throughout the field. In the meantime, we are currently waiting for the field to get the 1 to go signal, and we'll see if it is this time by or the next time around. Most likely it is looking to be this time by for that 1 to go signal. Waiting for the field and the pace car as well to cross the start finish A few drivers in the back half of the field actually going back to pit road. Colby Wells being one of them. Dane Cruz as well. And it looks like the lights will be out this time by. And it is the number 50 of Derek Newsom that will be leading the field to the green flag. In fact, many drivers in the back taking more tires and fuel at the end of pit road, interestingly enough. Robbie Lyons was one of those drivers. Essentially, it's split right down the middle by looking over here on our timing screen. As the only drivers that have not pit, let's roll with that. The only drivers that have not, well, more specifically went through into their pit box is Derek Newsom in the 50, the 1 of Michael Klein, and the 11 of Brett Murphy, who looks to be in a new paint scheme this week as well. In the meantime, these are the only 3 drivers to not go to pit road, but they don't really entirely have to. Brett Murphy and Michael Klein did pass through pit road, so we are going to be given a couple incorrect numbers in terms of what laps these drivers have restarted their stint on. So by the assumption that the drivers did go into pit road, both the 1 and the 11 of Klein and Murphy respectively, it looks like that they tried to go into their, at least attempt to go into their pit boxes, but with everyone in pit road at the time, they decided to opt out. And, well, there's no need for them to come back into pit road, considering these cars can at least make it to about lap 20 to 25, maybe a little bit more, just if they do stretch it. Pace car will pull below the apron or below the yellow line for the second time today, after only 1 caution with 2 pace laps throughout this afternoon's event so far. At the start-finish line, it will be 25 laps to go until the stage ends. Starter holding the green flag in hand. Green flag is flying. We're back underway at Talladega. In a very, very staggered start. I think Derek Newsom may have gone early. I'll double check everything over on the rulebook end of things. In the meantime, everyone nice and safe and sound off the start. 1 of Michael Klein into the lead. So, of course, off the initial start, just after double checking that the leader is allowed to control when the field goes after the initial start. Only the initial start of the race is when the field goes on green. Anything else after that is the leader's choice. Meanwhile, up on the outside lane, Alex Fox getting a little bit of help from the 7 of Dustin Schwingle. And a little bit of an update as well on the 5 of Gavin Jones, who did blow his engine earlier. He is back out. He did take his faster pair, but unfortunately, he is stuck 1 lap down. So if we do get another caution, well, actually we will, of course, guaranteed by the stage end. When we get that stage end caution, or any other caution before that, let's hope not. Well, Gavin Jones will be waved around and get put back on the lead lap, and we will have 3 laps of caution instead of 2. But meanwhile, up on the outside lane, making that 3rd lane work. Well, they must have heard what I said about not having a 3rd lane open yet. There it is. Brandon Hoff being the one of the many drivers on the outside lane, with help from the 02 of Alan Ballacchino and the 33 of Benjamin Nelson. Look at how much momentum they have as well. Down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3, as they are 3 wide for the lead through turns 3 and 4. The 27 of Alex Fox is just barely hanging in there with help from the 7 of Schwingle. Hoff will clear the 27, maybe not. No, he will not. And look at Alex Fox with a huge shove from the 7 of Schwingel. Fox, indecisive, finally moves down to the inside lane. And the outside lane, just like that, as quickly as it had gained momentum, it will lose momentum. For the lead, a little bit of an accordion effect on the inside lane, a little bit of a stack up. Everyone does manage to hang on to it. Look at the speed that the outside lane gets, though, down the back straightaway. They don't have as many cars. They don't have as many obstacles in a sense. They don't have enough cars to really slow that momentum down to get that burst of speed. But for how long can that handle is the main question. Oh, not for too long. The question was half answered by the looks of that, because the 9 of Hoff was incredibly loose on the outside lane. Got loosened up from the 0-2 of Alan Ballacino. Luckily, he does manage to hang on to it, and everyone does so as well. Joey Piccoella looked to squeeze the 11 of Brett Murphy there on the inside on the exit of turn number 2. Look at how stacked up, well, not exactly stacked up, well, definitely stacked up, but almost to a sense spread out is what the top 4 are. They created a little bit of a breakaway, but now this is going to leave the inside open to Dustin Schwingel, who's going to go to the inside of the 1 of Klein and the 44 of Lucas Cram. Could have forced the issue and made it 3 wide. Decided against it was the 50 of Newsom. And last time Derek Newsom was up here and pushing the leader with the final laps here at Talladega, as the 44 and the 1 were quite loose on the entry of turn number 1. Last time the 50 of Newsom was here pushing the leader at Talladega, well, Newsom didn't try and go for a pass really. He sat behind the 44 of Cram, pushed him to the win. But will Newsom do the same thing here with 19 laps to go before the stage ends? Well, 19 laps to go at the start-finish line, more specifically. For now, Newsom will sit behind that 27 of Alex Fox, as Fox leads the way around here at Talladega. Only now 2 lines, as the outside lane is, well, it's kind of there, but not by much. Inside lane gaining a little bit more ground by the looks of it down the back straightaway. And the 50 of Newsom very content with where he's sitting now behind Alex Fox, just pushing Alex Fox, riding around. Not making any major moves up until the final few laps here of the first stage. Again, the stage will end at lap 35, but if the caution does come out beforehand, that's when the stage will end. I believe the last scored lap for the stage. It's the last time the field crosses the start-finish line before the stage ends will be that top 10 result. In the meantime, Newsom actually backing out. Will fall all the way to the back of the field here, as we are 3 wide once again for the lead. Look at the outside lane with no help after that. Now it's Joey Piccoella and the 22 of Nick Olson on the inside lane. The only 2 drivers on the inside lane that have a relative shot at battling for this lead as they go through the trioval. Here comes the 7, along with that number 95 directly behind him. Joey Piccoella, I believe, got the lead that time by the start-finish line, by about half car length as well, but Nick Olson wants a piece of the lead for himself. A little bit of right rear damage as well. Keep an eye on that right rear damage on the 24, because you see how bent up that back bumper is. It could hurt the aerodynamics of the car, but we'll see by how much, if any. Surrounded on both sides and slowly falling back through the through the middle lane is the 22. But so is the outside lane. They're also falling back. Led by both the 9 and the 02. Quite a few drivers having a little bit of a bobble, but they all managed to hang on to it. 9 of Hoff trying to give the 02 of Balacino some clean air to cool the engine down on the outside, but the back straightaway is where that top side really soars. That is, well, if no one's pushing on the inside lane. However, the 24, or the 44 rather, is just giving a huge shot to the 24 down the back straightaway. That inside lane will get the advantage. The field continues to run at 3 wide here. And of course the track is wide enough to consistently do so and gives a lot of room if you do need to catch the car. Although Michael Klein very eager to follow that 44, maybe a bit too much because both of them almost went below the yellow line in the turn. And you get a piece of the apron in the turn and that car is immediately imbalanced. And you're going to be going around, but you'd be pretty lucky if you were able to save it. Outside lane with the advantage on the entry of turn number 3, but now it's the middle, and now it's going to be off turn number 4, maybe the 24 of Olsen, depending on how much help he has, but it is a continuous 3 wide drag race here. Look at this, 3 by 3 by 3. I believe that's just more 3 by 3 for the first 9 cars. Keeping in mind we only had 3 winners in total this season. Lucas Cram with 2 wins, Benjamin Nelson with 2 wins, Michael Elliott the only driver with 1 win. And, well, really the only other driver to win in the series outside of Nelson and Cram, as it's a huge crash. It's going to be the big one as they go through turns 3 and 4. Caution is out this time by, and boy, oh boy, are some drivers going to be using their faster pairs. And Gavin Jones, I believe, may have avoided that, but that is the second caution of the day, and that is before the stage end. We're going to be having a little bit of a shootout heading into the final laps of the stage. Replay coming up momentarily. Looks like throughout that, looks like just at the edge of the screen that the 7 of Schwingle had gotten caught, turned around. And we'll see if we can find a alternative, an angle for that number 7 getting turned. Looking up from the blimp camera as well, it seems to be the most appropriate is what we're going to be looking at, also in slow motion, to really figure out what exactly had happened. Well, we're going to go with regular speed as we go down the back straightaway here for this replay. So there's the 7 in the middle, pushing Joey Picoella. Backs out, just broke loose. Not entirely sure what happened. You just broke loose, but the 95 of Lewis with nowhere to go. I guess the 7 was maybe almost going to blow his engine, but look at this. The 88 gets caught up. The 41 drivers in the back with the 43, 11, 27, 45, 46, the 1 of Klein. And here comes the 2 of Rader in the background on the right-hand side. Maybe avoided it. We'll see. The 46 may have actually gotten around this as well, and right when I say that, there goes the 27 of Fox up the track. So maybe a little bit of contact as well, but for sure, if we just pause this frame, rewind by a few frames, well, we see already a few cars with contact. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, maybe relatively about just under half the field. Michael Elliott, I believe, may have gotten through that as well. Looking at a replay this time by from the view of Gavin Jones, who luckily came up on the very back end of this crash, where he was running with another driver almost, Sean Howell in the 38. A great heads-up driving by Jones. He was incredibly aware of that. I believe the 12 of Raymond Lees may have actually made a little bit of contact when slowing up for that. Made contact with the outside wall. And And he did do so when trying to slow up. This happened directly in front of Raymond Lee's entry turn number 3. Unfortunately for Lee, he checked up so hard that unfortunately he did lose a little bit of control, but damaged the car ever so slightly. Came to a dead stop actually, so I'm not sure if his brakes had entirely locked up, but that looks to be the case. One more angle from on board the 29 of Michael Elliott where he definitely had one avoidance for sure. You hear him lifting off as well to stay off the back of the 2. And look at that. The seas had parted for Michael Elliott. And just like that, we are back under caution. 1 to go signal should be given this time by, however. Gavin Jones back on the lead lap, I believe. Looks to be going back out, actually, after going back into pit road, but we should be getting the 1 to go signal this time around, so we should be having a 10-lap shootout to the stage end. So the lights are out on the pace car this time around. And the field in control of the 9 of Brendan Hoff. And these drivers should be able to make it to about 30 laps on their run. And, well, let's go with this. By the looks of it, 6 drivers stayed out, and that is your current top 4. Brendan Hoff, Alan Ballacchino, Nick Olson, and Benjamin Nelson. 6th place, well, I believe 5th place is going to be Kyle Manger, as well as directly behind him in 7th place is Sean Howell. Those 6 drivers have not pitted. Joey Picuella and Alex Fox are the first 2 drivers that did pit recently. So definitely taking a little bit of a fuel gamble here, almost in a certain way, are those 6 drivers that we mentioned, but at the same time, they do have this caution to save fuel. Waiting for the field to round their way off turn number 4 through the tri-oval before we get the green flag with 10 laps to go in the stage. Let's ride on board with Brendan Hoff, actually. Let's see when he decides to go for this restart. Looks like he will decide to go on the starter as we get the green flag this time by. Definitely not in a rush is Brendan Hoff. He's very confident to get this back underway, to control this, to get that stage win. And we'll see how much this will play out, as the majority of the field is already on the inside lane, but there is that second group on the outside lane, the second portion of the field on the in the middle lane, I should say. Nine laps remaining in the stage. Stage ends lap 35. But the caution does come out beforehand. The stage will end. So lap 32 if the caution comes out. And that's it. Saw Nick Olson move up to the outside lane in front of Alan Ballacino. That 0-2 being pushed heavily by Benjamin Nelson. Keep an eye on Benjamin Nelson. We haven't seen much of him, at least up directly in the very front of the field. Well, now we will actually, as he moves up to the outside lane. The 24 of Nick Olson left out to dry, unfortunately. And just like that, from running up front in the middle lane, shuffled all the way back to what is now 10th. Well, the 0-2 of Ballacino gets the lead that time by. He'll move down in front of the 9 of Brandon Hoff. But watch out for Benjamin Nelson. He has seen quite a fair share of top 10 stage, being in the top 10 at the stage end. Although by the look of it, I don't think Alex Bell and Nick Olson really want to let that happen. They want to get some points of their own, of course. But the 24 with so much, with that aero damage, it's just not helping him out. He was unable to push the 15 by the looks of it. The 0-2 has those left side tires directly on that yellow line there off turn number 4. Making sure that absolutely no one gets by. A little bit of a bobble maybe, or just trying to help cool the engine of the 9, who almost moves up in front of the 33. Getting shuffled out to the very outside lane is the 22 of Joey Picuella. And just like that, now it's Joey and the 22 is going to get shuffled back. And oh, by the way, this field contains 14 drivers. Well, 15 drivers. Well, definitely 14 drivers. 15 drivers. Well, 15th on back. Well, here's Raymond Leeson 15th. Gavin Jones in 16th. So it's a really go or go home for 4 drivers to get their stage points in the top 10. At least a point at minimum. Six laps remaining in the stage, and if possible, we're also going to get a word in with your stage winner, and then afterwards we will be taking a quick commercial break. And that's, of course, for 5.5 laps from now, and we still have a long way to go. So do these drivers. Olson in the 24, way up on the outside lane, unfortunately. I don't believe, by the looks of that, I don't believe Olson has really either got shuffled out, but unfortunately for Nick Olson, I don't believe he's entirely comfortable with running up there with that aero damage. I'm pretty sure he is very well aware of that. But unfortunately for Olson, I think he's playing the long game now at this point. He's staying back. He's set behind Brett Murphy in the 11 here. I think Olson is hoping for a little bit of luck here. And who's to say that's not a bad idea? It's always good to be a little bit patient as well, considering that, well, the stage end is coming up soon, within 4.5 laps now. Olson's 14th. Ooh, nearly making contact as well with Brett Murphy, but Olson sits 14th. Going to split the middle 3 wide, actually, and that's going to leave Brett Murphy out on the outside lane. So I think actually by the looks of that, Nick Olson was just cooling down his engine just to get back, get a good run up. Maybe trying something for the stage end to see if anything can work out. Here comes Gavin Jones and Raymond Lees. So now that is gone from 14 cars battling for the top 10 positions to 16 cars. And we may even get this second group here, but we'll have to wait and see. Led by Robbie Lyons in 17th. The 0-2 of Ballacino continues to lead the inside lane, with the 33 of Nelson continuing to lead the outside lane. This is going to be the key point of the race, though, is that these drivers will have to work together to at least finish the stage under green. Ballacino giving about half foot of space between himself and that yellow line on the inside. I'm pretty sure Brendan Hoff, he was looking to the outside. He wanted to go to the outside, but that just didn't happen. More than likely deciding it is way too soon to move up to the outside. '15 of Alex Bell continues to push the 33. And look at this, Robert Rader in the 2 and the 22 of Joey Picuella. Oh, never mind. Now there goes the 20. There goes the 15 to the outside. It's actually 27 correction. Nearly makes contact. 27 wanting to get back in line once again. There goes Brendan Hoff to the outside lane. Well, the middle lane now at this point. The 15 of Alex Bell and the 2 of Robert Rader falling back on the very top side. Joey Picuella is actually back in 14th over here. And the 27 do have quite similar paint schemes though at speed. As the 15 and the 2, they are very, very close to making some severe contact. That's 1 lap to go. I actually believe the stage will be ending this time by, so we'll see if anyone has anything left. Alan Ballacino, I'm pretty sure, wants to move up to the outside. Take that position away from the 33 of Benjamin Nelson. Does Ballacino move up to the outside off turn number 4? Not yet. So I believe this will be the last lap before the stage end. We'll wait and see. Across the start-finish line they come. No caution. Last lap for the stage. So the completion of lap 35 is the stage end. And, well, just like as a switch was flipped, the 9, the 7, and the 24 got a huge burst of momentum on the entry to turn 1. Ballacino, I'm pretty sure, is regretting not moving up to the outside lane now. As they move down the back straightaway, it is Brendan Hoff in the 9 on the outside, the 33 Benjamin Nelson on the inside. They both lead those respective lines, the 9 and the 33. Ballacino could get a chance to get maximum stage points here. He moves up to the outside lane. 33 tries to protect. It's not going to work just yet. Kyle Manger to the back bumper of the 33. It's going to be a 3-wide finish for the stage, and Benjamin Nelson wins stage number 1, and 3 wide for second place. And of course, across the start-finish line, we do have that at the start-finish line. Your top 10 for the stage, it is Benjamin Nelson, Kyle Manger, Brandon Hoff, your top 3, Alan Ballacino, and look at that. Between Ballacino and Manger, the gap was 7 thousandths of a second. Sean Howell, 5th place. Dustin Schwingle, 6th. 7th place, Nick Olson. 8th place was Derek Newsom. Alex Fox and Gavin Jones, both 9th and 10th. Now it's a matter of going to pit road. Let's see if we can get a quick word in with Benjamin Nelson. Benjamin Nelson, do you have a copy?
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your stage win for this race. It was 3 wide behind you, and, well, getting there to the end, of course, you're really no stranger to being up front at the end of, well, either a stage or a race.
I mean, that was pretty intense. I had some people I was working with there, and I at least made a move to win the stage, and it worked out. So I'm always happy to grab some stage points when I can.
Before we go ahead and let you go, any thoughts heading into the second half of this race?
I actually was surprised how well the outside lane worked, the third lane. Maybe that can come into play later too. I don't think I've seen it work that well in a while.
Hopefully that will be the case. Good. Congratulations on your stage win, and we hope to talk to you again later on.
Thanks.
So that is Benjamin Nelson, your stage winner here for this first half of the race. And now the fun portion is the pit stops. And this is where everything will sort itself out here. as everyone goes into pit road. Well, almost everyone. The only driver to really stay out is, well, he's passing by now, the 2 of Robert Rader. And I think the 25 Colin Manger may have missed his pit box again. He just passed right through pit road. Not seeing anyone back up, at least as of yet. Cram very slow to his pit box, very late, unfortunately. He was that far back. It's Schwingle, Nelson. Who else is it going to be? It's the 27, the 50, the 88, and it looks to be the 95, I believe, out of pit road with the 22 and 15 rounding out your top 5. Well, we are going to take a quick commercial break here before we head off, at least before we head off for the second half of the race. But in the meantime, we hope you have enjoyed the racing so far. This is the Sim Auto Racing Group Super Speedway Series with the Talladega 199 green flag when we return. Welcome back to the Talladega Super Speedway. As currently the field is making their way off turn number 4, ready for the green flag here for the Talladega Super Speedway 199. As the pace car moves down to the apron, Benjamin Nelson has decided to choose the outside lane as his restart lane of choice heading into the second half. And we'll see how well this will fare. very slow restart on the outside lane for Benjamin Nelson, unfortunately. That will leave Dustin Schwingle actually in control, very smartly almost, moves up to the outside lane, and actually almost because, well, this is going to slow up the outside lane. There goes Newsom down to the inside, and this is going to allow Alex Fox, well, almost into the lead. That actually works very, very well for Dustin Schwingle. At first I was a bit confused, but that definitely works out. Now Alex Fox and Newsom are absolutely charging up to the front. Schwingle and Nelson falling all the way back. Here comes the 88 through to the inside lane. Clint Spillman from out of absolutely nowhere from 11th. And it's now 3 wide as, while it looks to be falling back, it's going to be that 33. And unfortunately, as quickly as he arrived, he will quickly fall right back to at least the bottom half of the top 10, at least right now for 8th place. As Robbie Lyons sneaks his way by on the inside. Lyons as well from also out of, well, relatively nowhere after starting in 20th. Currently sits 9th. And look for that position to change. There it goes now to 8th place. And look at this, the outside lane starting to form up again. The 43 of Kyle Dager's somewhere in the middle of all this. There he is on the inside lane. And look at that 3 wide mid-pack just at the edge of the top 10. Just under the top 10, rather. Alex Bell moves to the inside. And meanwhile, while everybody is side by side, pretty much everybody from now 8th on front, or from now 1st through 8th, is all single file. In fact, the majority of the field was actually single file. Right when I say that, there goes the 43. Now it's 95, rather, Christopher Lewis. Robbie Lyons followed and continues to follow as they both go back to the inside lane. Nope, scratch that. There goes Lyons to the outside lane. He wants to be a little bit daring today. Kyle Dager not looking to follow. However, Alex Bell and Benjamin Nelson look to definitely help out that 97. Accommodating for the slow momentum that the 97 has. A little bit of a huge bobble, actually, as they make contact. But they could be looking to make their way up through the field, because there goes the 11 of Brett Murphy. Again tries to make the inside lane work, or the middle lane work, but that just did not help. That more slowed everybody up. Created many separate lanes. Lyons goes back to the middle. The 15 of Alex Bell will fall back on the outside, cut to the nose off the 44. But everyone does hang on to it. Meanwhile, everyone up out front as the 95 Lewis goes straight up to the middle lane. Up out front, Alex Fox just continues to lead with Newsom directly behind him. Closing in on 30 laps to go at the start-finish line. That's within the next. That's in the next 2 laps. And look at this, Robbie Lyons, who I thought had fallen back, was so distracted with everyone battling midfield. Robbie Lyons and now Benjamin Nelson out front. Alex Fox looked to move up to the middle lane, decided against it. Maybe thought the 95 was going to have a little bit more momentum, but Robbie Lyons now out front from 20th to 1st. .31 laps to go this time by at the start-finish line. As we're on board Clint Spillman, unfortunately is a little bit damaged after getting caught up in a relatively large accident with the second caution of the day. Already had used his faster pair prior, same with the 44 of Lucas Cram. Already had used his faster pair early on. Hence the damage and the missing back bumper. Justin Schwindel, as we ride on board him, looks to try and somehow find his way back up through the field. The outside lane getting a great burst of momentum here. As we look to the outside is the 33 of Benjamin Nelson with help from the 15 of Alex Bell. Alex Fox in the 27 is on the inside lane. And these two will make up your first 4 drivers, at least temporarily. Derek Newsom continues to sit behind on the inside lane, just riding it out. See, just off the right-hand side of our screen, actually, just to the left now of the timing tower, that is the 02 and the 9. Both Alan Ballacino and Brendan Hoff, they were originally, and they are actually still continuing to run the outside lane. But we see here from this angle how many more drivers are up on the outside lane compared to the inside. 6 on the inside and a whole host on the outside. Looks to be about 9. 6 drivers inside, 9 drivers outside. Does Robbie Lyons attempt to control both lanes, or does he stay on the inside? 27 of Fox struggling a little bit to stay directly behind and very stable behind that back bumper of the 97, and that's just a key thing with bump drafting here at the super speedways, is that it is very, very challenging to stay directly behind somebody and still be stable. Especially considering, well, your view is blocked by a huge car directly in front of you. Well, you could try and see through the windshield in front, but that would only do so much. So now it's Derek Newsom who's going to be looking out to the outside lane as he had moved up. Nelson with a little bit of a bobble foot by the looks of that. Both Nelson and Cram continue to run, as well as Michael Elliott, the only 3 drivers in this field out of now 20. Actually, no, Michael Elliott had retired 14 laps ago. We're not entirely sure why, and we'll see if we can get that at some point. So now it's 24 drivers all on the lead lap. And while judging by 14 laps ago, and it has something to do with a crash in pit road, but not entirely sure, so we'll have to wait and find out a little bit later on when we do get the chance. Now, the sun is starting to set here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And the sun is, of course, setting, but the engines are still very much roaring, and they will for the next 26 laps. And, well, as they make their way around for the next 5 laps, let's listen to the sound of the Xfinity cars. Well, it's a crash in the back. But what a race that was at the front of the field, just as we had gone as well. Everyone managed to hold it stable, and then unfortunately a crash in the back had decided otherwise. Caution out for the 4th time here today. I'll see what exactly happened. It happened around Raymond Lees and the 2 of Robert Rader. I'll see what exactly had happened here from an aerial shot. So taking a look at the 2 of Robert Rader, middle. Raymond Lees taps the outside wall and again, and just loses a huge amount of control, unfortunately. Luckily that didn't happen in front of everybody, but that lone spin is the reason for the caution. But now we're going to have to wait, or we're going to go and find out and see if we can exactly determine what exactly happened here with the 29 of Michael Elliott. Not entirely sure as of yet, as we're looking around to see what had caused Michael Elliott's early retirement here at Talladega. Because he did willingly pull it behind the pit wall before he did retire. He was not black flagged, he was not disqualified. So we're looking around to see what exactly happened, and maybe by the looks of it, it could have been a technical issue because he had lost ground and then just decided to pull into pit road. So no replay, as we're going to go back to live pictures. And we're going to see if anyone... Clint Spillman did overshoot his pit box a little bit. I think he's still trying to line up his car properly as well. The 2 of Rader heavily overshot. No, someone definitely overshot their pit box as well, unfortunately. But as of leaving pit road, it is Alex Fox, Nick Olson, Derek Newsom, Benjamin Nelson, Alan Ballacino, Brendan Hoff, Clint Spillman, and in fact, actually, we could show you as of the top 10 cars across the start-finish line, as they were the first 10 to leave pit road. Rader as well has to back up, trying to realign himself in his pit box. And well, the other driver that overshot, I believe, looks to be Sean Howell in the 38. And it was, unfortunately. That's Alex Fox, Nick Olson, and Benjamin Nelson in your top 3 with 22 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back in time for the green flag here at Talladega. "20 laps to go when we go back green flag racing here from the Talladega Superspeedway for the Talladega 199 here with the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series. Lights on the pace car have gone out, and it is Alex Fox on the inside lane in the number 27 with Nick Olson to his outside in the 24. Alexovich trying to get just a bit more fuel saved before the race goes back under green flag conditions. And 27 to Fox can go now if he decides if he wants to, but does he want to go early or does he want to wait with the field bunched up? Looks like he decides to wait. Green flag is back out here at Talladega with the jump just barely going to the 24 Nick Olson. A great start by him as everyone is making lane changes back behind the leaders. Oh, Nelson almost got shuffled out entirely. And that's going to allow Nick Olson in the 24 to go to the outside lane with the 50. Gain a little bit of ground. Well, I'm pretty sure we all thought that was going to happen, but unfortunately, they got collected. As everyone had gathered everything up on the inside lane, and luckily, managed to still beat out the outside lane on corner entry into turn number 3. Someone's up way in the back. It is the 97 of Robbie Lyons, who is heavily off pace, I believe. Not heavily off pace, but for sure off pace, as it's a half spin in front. The 43 of Kyle Dager hangs on to it. It's a spin in the back as well. It's the 2 of Robert Rader. Again, more bad luck. Well, no caution since they're both on the apron and well out of the way of the field. And we're going to be looking back here at a replay to see what exactly had happened. Trying to figure out what happened here between the 43 and looks to be the 88. Riding on board, 43 moves up. And all goes for a hole is the 88 of Spillman, but maybe a bit too eager. And I think in reaction to that, that's what had caused the 2, and I believe the 1 of Klein to make some contact. We're going to be riding on board with these 2 to see what happened here. Riding on board the 2 of Robert Rader. Goes to the inside as the caution is out. There's just a checkup on the inside. As we go back live to see what the cause of the caution was. Looking around, may have been a quick spin, but we'll take a look one more time throughout. And boy, oh boy, is it a bad one for the 50 of Derek Newsom. We're going to see if we can get a replay here momentarily. So replay here, the 50 of Derek Newsom goes to the inside, right across the nose of the 27, and back in front of many, many drivers. Spillman manages to get out of the way, but he comes right across the nose by the look of it. We're going to ride on board the 27 of Alex Fox. comes down. It does the number 50. Unfortunately, just not listening to the spotter there for the 50. Looks of it. Maybe a bit too eager to get back into the lead. But regardless, caution is out once again here at Talladega Superspeedway with double checking. There's about 16 laps to go at the start-finish line. No one has made a budge towards pit road, and right when I say that, somebody is going to pit road in the background. That must have been, it was, while it was both the 15 and the 9. The 15 we saw first, then the 9 of Hoff, the 5 of Jones, the 46 of Cruz, the 24 of Olsen, the 11 of Brett Murphy, and the 88 of Clint Spillman. We'll see if Rader, yes, he does decide to pull into pit road. The 43 as well, yes, he does. Same with Sean Howell. So 16 laps to go at the start-finish line as of right now, as we are currently under caution for the 5th time today. Well, we're going to take a quick but we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go double wide here as we await the green flag, at least as we await the caution lights to extinguish around the racetrack. Don't go anywhere. You won't miss a single thing here in case you are interested in seeing where your favorite drivers are under caution. We'll go through the field under yellow here.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
Coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race. Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett Lowe. 4 wide at the stripe. for all he's worth here on this outside line. Neck and neck. Who's going to back out?
Well, we are about to go green flag racing here with 14 laps to go here at Talladega. Last week, Benjamin Nelson was the driver that won. In fact, well, really, the only time, again, back to the point that we made earlier on, is that only 3 drivers in this series have won so far. As the green flag flies once again, those drivers were Michael Elliott, who has retired for this race. Benjamin Nelson, who continues to run. Same with Lucas Cram, he also continues to run. Those 3 drivers are the only ones that have won this season. Will we have a 4th driver? Or will we have a repeat winner once again in the form of either Cram or Nelson? Down the back straightaway they go. It's a side-by-side drag race. Ballacino moves up behind the 33. In the meantime, the 25 of Kyle Manger leads the field on the outside lane, with Alex Fox on the inside being pushed by the 22 of Joey Piccoella. The 33 of Nelson almost moved down to the inside, although he probably would have turned himself in the bumper of the number 27, or at least just barely cut the nose off. But this helps out the number 33 again, because Nelson, he's first on the outside lane, and if he gets pushed to the lead, he'll be able to control. Look at that little bit. That's a huge, actually, bobble. That's a huge bobble from the 27 of Alex Fox. Luckily, he does hang on to it, still stays relatively attached to the back bumper of the 25. Meanwhile, in the back, it's Alex Bell and Olsen, and now Brandon Hoff cutting the nose off the number 15 for that 3rd lane. Comes right back down to the inside. I'm pretty sure Alex Bell is wondering, well, what even was the point of doing that? Meanwhile, out front, Alex Fox moves up to the outside lane. Piccoella will sit behind that number 25. Nearly turns the 25 in front of the field, actually. Somehow hangs on to it. Everyone behind, however, scrambles to the inside in reaction. This is going to create a very large gap. Michael Klein in the 1 getting the absolute worst of this. He falls all the way back to now 22nd position. Meanwhile, somebody who snuck his way up here is the 45 of Colby Wells. Oh, near contact between 27 and 25. That is twice the 25 has had close contact. Kyle Manger is more than likely not entirely happy. He's wondering what is going on around me and why. But in the meantime, the 25 gets turned in the back. That's a 95, actually. Christopher Lewis on the infield just barely comes back out in front of everybody. Was there any other contact? By the looks of it, it does not look to be so. That's going to create a shootout as we were coming to 10 laps to go. The next time around, we're currently on 11 laps to go. A lone spin on the inside from the 95 of Christopher Lewis, getting turned by somebody midfield. And that somebody looked to be the number 9 of Brendan Hoff. We're going to be riding on board that number 9 of Brendan Hoff as well. That's definitely a racing incident by the looks of it, but at the same time, not entirely sure. Maybe Hoff tried and thought that that Lewis was going to at least maybe stay up on the outside lane. We'll see from an aerial angle here, and we'll zoom it in as well. Run this in slow motion in the process. So slow motion replay coming up from a 1-car incident, and then we'll see how close the 95 of Lewis was. Coming down to the inside right here, it should have been a little bit of a call from Lewis that the 9 was on the inside. Makes a call from the spotter of Lewis, but unfortunately that was just not the case. And then Lewis had spun around and just barely came up on the field. For some reason, the caution was called, but probably because he was more on the apron than in the infield. Well, we are now currently back live here at Talladega with live pictures. And by the looks of things, could be getting a shootout with about 7 laps to go. Actually 8 laps to go by the looks of it. Right now, only 24 drivers are currently running here at Talladega out of 27, 3 of which have either not started or retired. Drivers that have not started were, well, now 27th, Tim Brangam in the 69, and the 26, or sorry, the 03 of Jonathan Kuvas, who sits in 26th. Michael Elliott had retired due to, as far as we know, unknown issues. He sits 25th, currently 32 laps down and out of the race. 24 drivers are now on the lead lap. That was Raymond Lees that we saw going by on the outside. And 24 drivers have a shot at winning this race. And everyone is in line to be able to finish at least for the regular distance of this race. When it comes to green-white checkers, well, that may be a whole different story. Everyone is in line. Take this. We're at 10 laps to go now. And some drivers are on their longest stint of 13 laps. The last time some drivers had pit was 13 laps ago. That would be 23 laps in total, so in theory, everyone should be able to make it to the end. That is, again, with a regular distance. Last time we had a race finish under that regular distance was all the way back at Talladega, but that was on June 11th. 1 month and 5, well, not even 1 month, actually. Just under a month ago. And that is the only race that we had where we did not use any green-white checkers. Any race aside from that, we have used, well, 4 out of 5 races complete. 4 races have used green-white checkers at least once, and only once as well, being a key thing. Regular distance, of course, here at Talladega, 199.5 miles. If we were to go over, I would definitely be having a 200-mile race for sure. But in the meantime, rounding or not, lights out on the pace car with 9 laps to go this time by. Looking to have another amazing Talladega shootout. Will Benjamin Nelson be able to win here at Talladega for the first time, actually? Granted, Nelson won twice this season, but it was only at Daytona last week, and, well, the night race at Daytona. And in the meantime, well, Alan Ballacchino, taking a look, at least his statistics at Talladega for Alan Ballacchino, he didn't really have a lot of luck. He didn't really finish in P2. In fact, the very first time Ballacchino was here at Talladega, he finished in 30th. And the most recent time, as of 2 weeks ago, that Ballacchino finished here at Talladega. In fact, double checking, I don't believe Ballacchino ran. No, he did. He finished in 10th. So, Alan Ballacchino was runner-up last week at Daytona. Actually, correction. 3 weeks ago at Daytona. June 18th, I believe, by the looks of that. And indeed, it was 3 weeks ago to this day that Ballacchino was runner-up at Daytona, but that's the only time he's seen a podium finish. Can Ballacchino repeat? Can he get the race win? He's gotten a stage win before. It's actually the second time that Ballacchino had gotten a podium position. So Ballacchino having a little bit more luck at Daytona rather than Talladega. At least at the regular editions of Daytona. Ballacchino finished in second place last week. Ballacchino finished 19th. But that was the 2008 Daytona. Meanwhile, Benjamin Nelson with 2 wins under his name, looking to get a third. Same goes for Lucas Krams, restarting back in 8th place. The field waiting for the 33 to start the field off, or will he wait for the green flag? He's waiting for the green flag by the looks of this. Green flag is being waved by the starter. 8 laps to go at the start-finish line. Will we see a repeat winner, or will we see a 4th different winner this season? We'll find out here in these final 8 laps. In the inside lane, getting a wonderful start. The 25 of Colin Banger, most likely looking to try and get to the outside, but Balacino says, no, I think I'd rather have this lead more than you. And a huge shot from Joey Piccolella. Maybe a bit off center as well by the looks of it, but regardless, still just hanging strong with the lead cars. Will we go to a green-white checker finish, or will we finish with regular distance for the 2nd time this season? Balacino on the outside in the 02. The 33 of Nelson on the inside. Kyle Manger in the 25 on the inside lane behind that number 33. Joey Piccolella in the 22 behind the 02 on the outside lane. One lone driver on the top side. That is the 9 of Brandon Hoff, who tries to get back in line, but unfortunately he's stuck on the outside and will be hung out to dry and falls all the way back to currently 16th. Joey Piccolella left out on the outside lane as well. Moves up to the outside, trying to cool his engine down. The sun continues to set in the distance here at the virtual Talladega, Alabama. It's just a matter of waiting. Who is going to get the edge? Because right now we see that the inside lane of Benjamin Nelson just able to get the edge over the outside lane. But will that be the case coming to the tri-oval? Huge shove from the 27 to the 02. Balacino out in front to the lead on the inside lane. 5 laps to go at the start-finish line. Was it too soon? We'll have to wait and see. There's Lucas Cram in the 44. Watch out for the 44 as well. Watch out for the 24 of Nick Olsen, who we saw just in the background there move up to the middle lane. Derek Newsom as well behind that 44 machine. Last time Lucas Cram won at Talladega, it was the 50 that pushed the 44 to the line. Benjamin Nelson will have a shot, or have a chance at least, to get into the lead on the outside here on the back straightaway. Moves up to the outside as the 33. The 25 is going to now push the 02. Down the back straightaway they go. And down to the inside goes the 33 of Nelson. The 02 of Balacino, just as predicted, moves up to the outside. The 33 of Nelson will let him by, or at least let him move up to the outside lane. That could be a different story come the final lap. 4 laps to go at the start-finish line. Advantage Balacino by a car length. There goes Alex Fox now to the outside lane with help from the 44 of Lucas Cram. I thought Cram was going to move up to the 3rd lane, actually, and make a 3rd lane, but he decides against it. But don't count out that 3rd lane not being used. A bit of a bobble from the 15 of Alex Bell in the background there on the back straightaway. Manages to hang on to it. Outside lane falls back. The 33 of Nelson will move up to the outside. Maybe not. Now he does. We saw the 24 move up to make a 3rd lane, but he's all on his lonesome, so he'll fall right back in behind the 50 of Newsom and in front of that 41 of Lucas Strayer. The 24 of Olsen is ready to go, but not as ready to go as I'm pretty sure Alex Fox is, because Fox has been sitting here, in a sense, leading the outside lane. He hasn't been pushed out front enough to get out front, to get to the inside lane, to lead a lap, at least on the inside lane fully. Will that change down the back straightaway? Not yet. 2 laps to go at the start-finish line. If the field makes it back to the white flag, the race is official no matter what happens. The 33 of Nelson moves out to block. I'm pretty sure Balacino wouldn't be too happy about that if that happens on the final lap. He would not be as nice. But that may have been enough. Balacino out front. The 27 of Fox was about to move to the inside, but the 02 of Balacino moves instead. I'm pretty sure Alex Fox would have loved to help out and push for the 02 to the lead as both drivers on each lane get shoved out of the way. It's a huge crash off turn number 2. The caution is out, and we're going to a green-white checker as multiple drivers are involved. Huge crash in the back here at Talladega, coming to the back straightaway with 2 laps to go. Many drivers are torn up. The 33 of Nelson is involved. Looks to be relatively unscathed, but Dustin Schwingle not so much. Caution is out once again. We're going to our green-white checker, our 1 of 3 green-white checker attempts. Not entirely sure exactly it happened, but that was definitely a heart-stopping moment by the looks of that off turn number 2 for everybody. 2 separate moments happened at the exact same time, and we'll see if we can get both of them here in slow motion for this replay. The 27 of Alex Fox on the outside lane, and the 02 of Alan Balacino on the inside lane. We'll speed this up just a little bit. 1/4 speed. Both drivers here will get bumped. The 27 of Fox gets bumped by the 44 of Lucas Cram, and the 02 gets a huge shot from the 33. I'm not sure if this was net code. It may have been, but also may have been contact by the respective drivers. The 33 of Nelson tries to follow, and then here comes the 25 Kyle Manger trying to go through to find an opening. That was not going to be the case. Makes contact with the 44 is the 33, and then just barely escaping contact. Maybe it's the 27 Alex Fox, just barely by a nose, maybe by a few inches for sure. And then it was just absolutely on from there, with many drivers being spun on the back straightaway. The 33 hit the inside wall a couple times. And, well, that was that. We're going to look off the back bumper of the 27 because I'm still not entirely sure if that was contact or not. It may have been net code. We'll see. On board. Oh, it was net code. And here comes the 50. Look at how close that is. Alex Fox could not be any luckier, that is for sure. So close that, well, of course, you couldn't even see how close it was. As we rewind, we look on board the 33 of Benjamin Nelson riding on board. This will also give us a good view to see if it was net code or not. A lot of speed difference, contact, and yeah, that may have been net code. Still not entirely sure, but regardless, Nelson, yeah, heavy damage, unfortunately. So unless Nelson had used his fast repair by the looks of the 3.4 second pit stop he has, Nelson could be again in line to at least finish the race for sure. The same cannot be said, however, for the 44 of Lucas Cram, who on the back straightaway, if we can get a good shot, may have some right side damage. Or left side damage, actually. Surprisingly all clean. And Cram has not yet gone to pit road, actually, so maybe no damage on the 44. At least nothing too major by the looks of it, oddly enough. Well, now we're still at least in line to get a repeat winner, but only in the form of Lucas Cram. Balacino and Fox, I'm pretty sure, will be chomping at the bit for that final lap. Lights on the pace car will be going out this time by, and when we go back green, it's going to be a long, at least projected 2.5 minutes to get back up to speed to the white flag and to the checker flag. That is, if everything goes well. And that is if drivers can even make it to the end of this race, because, well, Alan Balacino, Alex Fox, Lucas Cram all pit at least 23 at maximum, 22 to 23 laps ago. How long they can make it on fuel is a whole other question, because if the top 3 is out, that's going to put Lucas Strayer in line with Alex Bell, Kyle Dager, and Brett Murphy. Again, we've only had to use one green-white checker this entire season. Or correction, we've only had to use one green-white checker in total, if need be, for this entire season. Will this be, at least by the trend, the last green-white checker? Possibly. 27 of Alex Fox, a little bit banged up. But still, at least, definitely a challenge worthy for the lead. It was a very strange crash off turn number 2 a couple laps ago, and somehow, some way, these front two had still managed to hang on to it in time for the caution. Was it netcode? Was it not netcode? We'll have to wait and see in the meantime. Currently 22 drivers on the racing surface. 20, actually looking again, we may have a little bit of a missed number, but Christopher Lewis and Colby Wells have been sitting in pit road for about 5 or more minutes. Unfortunately, scoring is not entirely accurate because of Gavin Jones being on the same lap as Christopher Lewis as of right now, so we'll wait and see what scoring sorts out over there, but 24 drivers by scoring possibilities are currently at least active and on the track in some form, 22 of which are still actively running around the racetrack. Pace car pulls off, but will it be for the final time this race? 79 laps in line here at Talladega. The most that we've gone. The least that we've gone was 77. This is the most so far. Will we cross over into 80 laps, or will this be the final green flag run? Green flag flies. It's a 2-lap shootout. Green white checker attempt number 1 here at Talladega. Great start by both lanes, more by Alan Balacino. And that damage of Alex Fox might be hampering him just a little bit. And for sure, as the 43 moves up in reaction to Strayer, that third line quickly forming up. Here comes Robbie Lyons with the 43 as well. If we make it back to the white flag, the race is official no matter what happens. But we have to get around off turn number 4 and through the trial first. Robbie Lyons to the middle with the 41 of Strayer by the looks of it. Correction, the 27 of Alex Fox. Here goes Lucas Cram to the outside lane. Contact in the back. Alex Bell will be pushing the 44 on the outside lane. Will we make it to the line? Waiting. White flag is out. They're crashing behind. That's it. The race will be official under green as they crashed across the start-finish line. Had to wait for confirmation from the scoring. But here comes Alex Bell to the outside. Cram tries to block. It's not going to happen. Here comes Brett Murphy from out of nowhere. They all crash coming to the line. Joey Piccoella goes straight through. It's going to be a 3-car drag race. Joey Piccoella out front. Lucas Cram second. Immediately third place is Sean Howell. Coming to the start-finish line, the 44 has help from the 38. This could be, for sure, a 3-car finish. In fact, wait, the race might be over. Not entirely sure as of yet, but regardless, they're going to drag race to the line. Piccoella doors the 44. It's not going to be a new winner. It might be, actually. Joey Piccoella turns the 44 across the line, and Joey Piccoella wins here at Talladega. Not entirely sure if this is official or not. It is actually now official. At the start-finish line, scoring was being a little bit strange on us. Joey Piccoella has won. Sean Howell, second place. Raymond Lee's third. Fourth, Dustin Schwingle. Fifth place, Lucas Cram. And Lucas Cram showing his much displeasure, unfortunately. At least that's what it appears to be. But Joey Picuella, regardless, your winner here at Talladega. And unfortunately for Robert Rader, involved in the huge crash one lap before, crosses the start-finish line in 21st. Well, after a insanely amazing race, your finishing results are as follows, being Joey Picuella, Sean Howell, Raymond Leeds, your top three. We'll see if we can get an interview with them momentarily. Dustin Schwingle, 4th, 5th place. Lucas Graham. Kyle Dager will sit in 6th place. 7th place, Brett Murphy. Kyle Manger finishes in 8th. 9th place is Nick Olson. 10th place is going to be Lucas Strayer. Benjamin Nelson finishes 11th with Robbie Lyons in 12th. 13th is Brandon Hoff. 14th, Alex Fox. 15th, rounded out by Clint Spillman. Alex Bell, Dane Cruz, Derek Newsom, Michael Klein, and Robert Rader from 16th to 20th are those finishers. And then the rest of your field that unfortunately did not finish or did not start. Alan Ballacino was able to finish. Gavin Jones also able to finish 21st and 22nd respectively. Colby Wells, unfortunately, along with Christopher Lewis, both sitting in pit road. They will sit 23rd and 24th on scoring. Michael Elliott, unable to finish for, at least from what we know, unknown reasons, and had retired after going into pit road during a green flag run. He finishes 25th, 47 laps down. Tim Brangan and Jonathan Kuvas finishing 26th and 27th after not starting this 79-lap event. Well, before we sign off, we're going to see if we can actually immediately get over to your interviews for the top three. Taking a look around for the drivers that had finished in your top three. Again, Joey Picuella from absolutely out of nowhere finishing in first place. In fact, we're going to get a replay here of those final 2 laps. And I'm going to actually take a look as well and see what happened within those final 2 laps. Because boy, oh boy, was it a race to be had. I mean, a little bit of a longer rewind, of course, than anticipated because of all the action that had happened throughout the event. But looking through right now, coming to 2 laps to go, we'll see if we can get an aerial shot of this in the process, as well as we await for drivers to for their top 3 interviews, just to make sure. But in the meantime, this all happened off turn number 4, as we see a huge host of cars look back to where it's 3 wide. In fact, maybe a little bit more forward than that. As we're going to zoom in here. Apologies for the slight frame disruptions during the zoom in, but taking a look right now, not even sure where this had started even. There's Brandon Hoff and Benjamin Nelson coming through, making it nearly 4 wide. The 27 of Fox moves up. The 9 and the 33 try to move up the racetrack, similar to what happened with Ryan Blaney and Eric Jones in the actual Talladega race. Those 2, or 3 rather, had made contact in the middle of the field. And then it was 4 wide for a quick moment. Robbie Lyons gets collected entirely. The 33 of Nelson gets involved. Same with the 80 of Clint Spillman. There goes Michael Klein to the very inside. Does he make it through? No, he does not. He makes contact. Robert Rader, interestingly enough, makes it through. Same with Raymond Lees. So by the looks of this, they may have had a little bit of contact afterwards. And that's only one can assume. Rader made it through. Oh, it's Michael Klein who kept his foot in it and unfortunately came right up across the track. We're going to rewind live here, and unfortunately we'll see if we can actually get an on-board look here from the number 1 machine. Unfortunately, oh my goodness, huge hit for Robert Rader. And Michael Klein, unfortunately, could have slowed it up, but unfortunately, he did not. Meanwhile, on the back straightaway, as we rewind again to take a look at this, insane final lap. Murphy moves up to the top side to push Alex Fox. The 02, I believe, tries to move up. Kyle Manger tries to move through the middle. Yeah, the 02 Balcino tries to move up, goes into the 25. Everything is happening so quickly that 15 just barely gets tagged. Murphy has nowhere to go, gets collected, and only these 4 somehow make it through. The C's part for the 22 of Picuella. Both the 44 and the 30 of Sean Howell make it through. In fact, Raymond Lees, by the looks of it, also makes it through. Same with Brett Murphy. Although a lot more momentum was had by Dustin Schwingel and the 43 of Kyle Dager. So Kyle Dager as well with a great run with Dustin Schwingel, and, well, this final lap as well, this final run to the line. Picuella, of course, tries to door the 44, trying to at least get him to lose a little bit of momentum. The 22 tries to come down, and, well, I'm not sure if this is him trying to get behind the 44 or if it was an intentional takeout, but regardless, maybe a little bit much. But Sean Howell, caught up in all of this, finishes second place regardless. And, well, after all that, we'll see if we can get any words from anybody here within your top 3, if at all possible. It looks like Sean Howell is the only one that we'll be talking to for this afternoon. 38 of Sean Howell, do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, what a wild final lap that was. Just, well, first of all, walk us through at least, at the very most, the entire race, because throughout all this, you started 9th and you wound up 2nd, and, well, everything went well for you.
Yeah, for the most part, it went according to plan. I planned on staying on the back in the beginning and trying to get up there for stage points, and that worked well. Had a little bit of an incident with a lap car, had to use my fast repair. I didn't have to use it yet, but I got some damage, so I stayed safe in the back, and then used it about 67 to go, used the fast repair, got up, big wreck, got through that, and then it was just wrecks after wreck, and I was just able to maneuver my way through. I'm hearing via Cram that I might have won this race over that incident with the 22. I'm not sure yet. I'm not positive.
Yeah, none of us are entirely sure, but
But if I did, if not, second's cool too. But if I won it, that's one hell of a way to win one.
for sure, we're going to at least try and stay alive for a little bit longer than anticipated. But since you're the one that was the only one that was in the waiting room, we decided maybe we shouldn't pull anybody else in, and we'll just wait for anyone to come to us.
Yeah,
So
there were some tempers flaring all around the track there, so I was just able to keep my nose clean for the most part and weasel my way through there.
well, before we go ahead and, of course, let you go celebrate your, well, at least confirmed podium finish, we'll go with that instead. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
I like to shout out Luke Strayer a little bit. He helped me back there when I was damaged, keep me up in the draft a little bit, but appreciate his help pushing me back up and stay in the draft. And shout out my design company, Sean Howell Designs. If you need an iRacing paint scheme, hit me up.
Well, we thank you for your time, and we hope to talk to you again next week. And, well, congratulations on, well, of course, at least your podium finish for sure.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the broadcast. We all love being able to watch, and thank you.
That is Sean Howell finishing either second or first. Even we have no idea as of yet. We're going to try and stay live for as long as we can, but if possible, we may have to cut off at the top of the hour if we don't get anything beforehand. But on the bright side, we can at least use this time to review the entire final lap, and what a final lap that was. And, well, we can use pretty much any various angles from here, but in the meantime, we're going to try and get an onboard shot here from the number 22 of Joey Picuella here as we try and get a little bit of a replay here going on board the number 22 for this last lap, at least on board the roof cam throughout this final lap. So this is where the white flag was. Everyone wrecks behind. Tom Manger somehow avoids. Same with everybody else. Everyone going low to avoid, of course. A little bit of a run happening off turn number 2. 3 lanes form up. The O2 Valentino tries to move up to get by. the seas part. And then through turns 3 and 4, it was just on from there. We're going to ride onboard Sean Howell. And yeah, not entirely sure that, at least from onboard, we'll see. Ride onboard number 22 from the roof cam once again. To listen to the engine this time by. Not entirely sure really if we try to get in behind or not, but at the same time, while a controversial finish regardless. And of course, Lucas Cram not entirely happy as well, showing displeasure. So we'll see what exactly happens after this. We're still waiting at least for any type of word as of right now before we close off at the top of the hour. But regardless, an incredible race. And, well, if anything does change, we'll, of course, let you know within the next race, within the opening of the next race as well, if anything does change. But right now, we're still holding off, and we're waiting for anything, if anything does change, or if anything is announced before the end of the broadcast. But in the meantime, as we wait, we're going to at least take a quick look at the rule book as well, just so we can at least also explain to you anything that may be taking place. We'll have to wait and find out. At this point, everything is for sure unofficial, so we will wait and see as we try and somehow, some way, figure out how to pull up said rule book, if we can find it, that we had pulled up a little bit earlier on. There we go. But in the meantime, though, what a incredible race it was, only going to one green-white checker, and for 79 laps as well. And it looks like, looking back over here, so we'll see that it could be, of course, this is just going off of the rule book and from what we saw, and of course could be judged by pretty much, well, probably, hopefully, some drivers or people watching this, but we'll see. But with the 22 and 44, at least it could be possibly a section of at least a penalty under intentional wrecking. Again, it could be, so we'll go with allegedly. We'll go with that. We'll go with allegedly and unofficially. It could be a penalty for intentional wrecking for, again, allegedly and possibly both the 22 and 44. We'll see, but now we're just going off of what the section says, which is, quote, there will be zero tolerance for intentional wrecking. All incidents will be reviewed by the series officials and penalties will be handed out accordingly. We do ask that even after the finish, we keep things fairly tame, end quote. So again, with the 44 running into the 22 afterwards, it's a whole thing that we'll have to wait and see later on. So it is the top of the hour, of course. We haven't really gotten anything as of yet. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this broadcast here from Talladega Superspeedway. And what a race it was. Next race, we will be announcing any penalties that have occurred regarding, and of course, well, everything at this point is deemed unofficial, just to be on the safe side. So nothing will be official relatively until the next week's race. So we thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you all next time here at Daytona International Speedway once again. Again, tune in next week to see exactly what it stands and where it stands from. This was the Talladega 199 at Talladega Superspeedway, brought to you by the Sim Auto Racing Group Superspeedway Series here at Talladega. Thank you for tuning in to the Racing Line Broadcasting Network, and we hope to talk to you, or we hope to see you again at least next week.